Hey, what's up everyone? It's been a while, probably almost about 3 years now. Actually, I think it has been over 3 years. Yep, just been building the 180. Like, reason I kind of stopped was I stopped going to the skate park, wasn't making videos there anymore, and I really couldn't be bothered doing it on this. I just wanted to get in and do my stuff, make the car sick. But I've been wanting to do this for a while and get back into it and start making videos, so here I am, I guess. And I guess this will probably be like the first or second video back up on my channel. I'm not going to go through the car today, obviously. I've still got the 180SX, as you can probably tell by the title or whatever I call this video. But what I am going to do is show you what I'm doing at the moment, which is this. If anybody has seen one of these before, they're quite rare. They came out of an NX Coupe. This will probably be in the title as well. It's an NX1600 digital dash. A few people have done these in the past. It's more of an older thing to do. I haven't seen many people do it, or any videos or information of it done in the last couple of years. Most of the information you find online is from like prior to 2012. So here I am, and probably not going to show you everything to 100%. I'm going to show you a little bit of a process of me putting it in and installing it and wiring it up and seeing how we go. So like first things first, I mean, I've got this. I had this come from overseas from a NX owner that was going to put it in his 2 litre. You can only get them in the 1.6 litres. A little information for you. This one didn't come with the pigtails. I actually went to a Wreckers, went into a couple of Nissans and got all the plugs that fit, which isn't going to matter. What I'm going to do is repin these plugs so I don't have to cut and solder, and it's all reversible if I ever wanted to go back to the original dash. But yeah, so that's the dash, and I've got all the plugs for that now, which is sick. And I also picked this up quite cheap, so there's a little bit of modifications that you have to do. I know you have to cut this slightly. You have to cut the top of the dash, not cut the top of the dash, shave out wee bits of the top of the dash, shave the trim around this. So I want to keep as many original parts as possible. So I'm going to pick this one up real cheap. So I'm going to clean that up, use that instead of the one that's already in the car, which is nice and clean already. Essentially, I'm not going to bother about the fitting for now, so this can be put aside. What I'm going to try and do first is wire it so that I can take this off, clean it up, put it in, have it sit in there and mounted, and then mess with like trying to fit this and all of that, because I've heard it can take some time. First things first though, I'm going to have to remove the cluster that's already in the car. So the reason people do these in like 180s and S13s rather than like S14s and stuff as well, is because the size of these are actually very similar. The height is slightly different, so you actually have to trim these off, and the width is obviously different. You have a slight area here that doesn't end up being covered, but that's okay because we can make it work. There's either going to be a slight gap, but I'll probably just make a little plastic tab that goes over the end so it fits a bit nicer. But what I've decided is that I'm not going to show you the whole process, but I'll show you little increments and how far I've gotten, just to make it slightly easier for myself and make this process go a bit quicker. God, my head's on the piss today. So essentially what I'm going to do, that can go aside for now, is with this, we have obviously got these plugs in it. These are the right plugs, right size plugs for this. So if you never repinned plugs before, essentially you can get tools for it. I'm going to use these, like you can get big packs of them real cheap. But all of them will have like these tabs here, and you basically have to flick those up, and then there'll be a pin on the inside that you just release, and then it's as easy as that. I've get this up. Why am I struggling? Cool. So it's up like that, and then in the end, in here, this part, which probably is completely not in focus, if I grab one of these wires, so for instance this blue wire, and then I prong in and pull down, watch, I won't be able to do it now, but Cool, so we can pull those out. So that's the exact same with the ones that'll be on the back of this. So then I will be able to essentially repin it and not have to worry. What a mission that was. I won't show you any of that. I won't show you any of the wiring because that probably took me a good hour and a half. But I finally finished it. You can't completely just repin it. There is some parts that you have to solder, which is this one plug, which isn't identical, which is okay because I did keep the pins there. So if I did want to revert back to the original speedo, then I can. But check this out. This looks sick. Check that out. I can see there that I've at least got heat, I've got fuel, revs are working. That's sick. So there's a little bit I didn't film, but it's all now in and fitted. There's 2 bars basically on the top of here, underneath, that you have to shave off. There's also the factory mounting bracket that you've got to take out, which is just 3 screws, which is fine, you don't have to shave that. What you do have to take out is the middle part here, otherwise it sits too high. And then basically I've got 2 screws. It pretty much lines up with those mounting points, and it's now sitting in there. So I did test it just before, like we've got on that left, that light is the door light, that's all working. I know everything else. I had the airbag light come on, but I removed that because I don't actually have airbags and never have, but I have both indicators going, revs going, and I did drive it quickly before. I had speedo going as well. Like you can switch between miles, kilometers an hour. Temp gauge is working because it's actually lower than it was last time I tested it, and that's about it really. Like, after all, it was quite easy to get in here. What I ended up doing was I shaved the top portions and basically cleaned up, sanded everything around, and satin blacked it so it'll look nice and new, because I'm basically going to have to, those are the only parts you're going to see. So like I probably said before, I've got the 2. This is the one I'm going to cut up because it's not as nice. What I did do is I cleaned it up a little bit. I gave it a mitt because the person I'd got it off had got some overspray all over it, which is fine, it just came off. You have the lines here. As far as I've been reading, you shave to this line here. If I screw it up, obviously I've got another one to try on, but I'd rather not. Take it back slowly and just keep testing and seeing how much I actually have to do. But then I'll show you guys after, when I'm finished, and how much I actually took off. Finished trimming it up. I did actually have to shave off quite a lot. I will show you in a second, and it's quite snug in there. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's all mounted properly apart from having screws in. There is quite a gap on each side. I don't know what I'll do there. Like, I know some people don't mind it. I know if I leave it there, it'll probably annoy me. So I'm gonna do something with it, but I'll pull this back out and I'll show you how much I actually had to shave off. So I've now got it on the bench so I can give you some reference. So like I said, I did actually have to shave pretty much all the way to that line. You do have to shave off a wee bit there so it actually fits, like pushes in. But for comparison, I can now do that. And this is fitting extremely snug in there, so yep. Essentially that's the finished product. I haven't bothered to do the side trim parts yet. I'll do those another time, probably in a later video. Or whenever I get over saying gaps really, but it's getting later in the day and I can't really be bothered doing it. So I've now finished it up, car's home and it's all done. So I just wanted to close out this video basically just saying, if you wanted to try, one, good luck finding them, because there's none around. And I mean, if you do find them, you may find them at records. I've tried to find them, but the cars that had them in them had already been removed, so you can't really find them that often, and when you do, they're probably not going to be that cheap. It took me a fair bit of time to do and complete everything. Wiring was it was about an hour and a half. If you don't know anything about wiring, then I wouldn't suggest trying this, just because there's a bit that's to it, and if you don't know how to use multimeters or anything like that, it's pretty easy, but if you don't, then you may damage something and cost you more in the long run. Next, I'll probably upload a video of what I've done to my car in the last few years, what I've been up to anyway, and show you the mods that I've done. If there's any information you guys want to know about installing the speedo, or where getting them from, or anything like that, feel free to leave a comment. Or if there's anything you want to see out of this channel, let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching, I'll see you next time.